Assalamu alaikum, myself Dana Shamit. I'm a degree student in data science and AI artificial intelligence from IT Madras. So today we are going to complete the revision of coordinate geometry. That is the chapter of class 10th mathematics. So this is the fast video revision series. So what I will share with you in this video, key concepts, basic definitions, important formulas, and the question solving approach. Okay, so our objectives will be the Cartesian coordinate system and the quadrants, distance formula, area of triangle section formula. What do you mean by coordinate geometry? This is a system of geometry where the position of point on a plane is described using an ordered pair of numbers. Okay, so the numbers usually you have seen in the coordinate geometry are x and y. Okay, so some basic pointers. To locate the position of a point on a plane, we require a pair of coordinate axes. Okay, so x-axis and y-axis. The distance of a point from y-axis, we call this x coordinate, and distance of a point from x axis we call this y ordinate. x कोऑर्डिनेट को हम एब्सिसा भी कहते हैं और y कोऑर्डिनेट को हम ऑर्डिनेट भी कहते हैं. जो भी पॉइंट x एक्सिस पे होगा वो इन द फॉर्म ऑफ x कामा 0 होगा, क्योंकि y यहाँ पे 0 है. y एक्सिस का पॉइंट यहाँ पे 0 है और एवरी पॉइंट ऑन y एक्सिस विल बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ 0 कामा y, क्योंकि यहाँ पे x एक्सिस का पॉइंट 0 है. सो व्हाट एक्चुअली दिस मीन्स, ये जो ये पॉइंट था, अगर कोई भी हमारा एक्स एक्सिस है और वाई एक्सिस है, हमने देखा एक पॉइंट एक्स एक्सिस, ये जो एक्स एक्सिस है इससे कितनी दूरी पे है इसको हम वाई ऑर्डिनेट कहते हैं, और ये पॉइंट वाई एक्सिस से कितनी दूरी पे है इसको हमने एक्स कोऑर्डिनेट कहा. ठीक है, so just recap how actually the our coordinate system looks like. This direction is always positive direction. If you will go rise, okay, will positive, and if you will you will make downfall, you will decrease, you will get negative value. This is by the way trick to remember. So right always is positive, left it's negative. Okay, left is negative. Now you will see here x axis is positive. Okay, in this quadrant x axis is positive. Okay, and this is here, if you will see a point, for this point x axis is positive. Okay, and y axis is also positive because here is positive and here it is positive. But on the, if the point is here, now the x axis is negative, you will see x axis is negative, and here the y axis is positive. Okay, so this will be the case of minus comma plus. Okay, so this will be minus x comma y, and this will be x comma y. Here if you will check in the third quadrant, this is minus y axis and this is minus x axis, so the point will be minus x comma minus y. Okay, in the fourth quadrant, here if you will see x axis is positive but the y axis is negative, that means point will be x comma minus y. 2 comma 1 we are checking. Okay, 2 comma 1 we are checking. So this is what does 2 comma 1 means in the mathematics. So this means that the point is 2 units far from y axis. Okay, and we call this x coordinate. Okay, we call this x coordinate, and the point is 1 unit far from x axis. Okay, so this length is 1 unit and this is 2 unit. Okay, 2 and 1, that is why we call this y coordinate. Okay, if you will check minus 3 comma minus 2, this is the case of my third quadrant, minus 3 comma minus 2, that means minus x comma minus y. This was our case in the third quadrant. Okay, now we will check the distance formula. What actually distance formula is? X comma y, x1 y1, and this is x2 comma y2. Now I have to find distance between this P point to this Q point. Okay, so how we will exactly get the distance between these points? We will use a formula, and the formula is distance formula. Okay, how we will derive it? This is given on your NCRT. You can check your NCRT, वो दिया हुआ है वहाँ पे. Just like here इस point P को मैंने एक coordinate system में डाला. This is x1 y1, okay, and Q point x2 y2 के ऊपर है. So अब हम इस कैसे इस distance को calculate करेंगे with the help of distance formula. This is here, if you will see the distance formula, this is a root under x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Okay, so this is the distance between the 2 points. Why we are checking this x2 and x2 minus x1? If you will draw a quadrant, if you will draw a point, I will show this is the extra point. You have to remember this. Maybe you will get the idea why we are using x2. If you will see the length of this point and this point, okay, this is point, okay, we say this is Q and this is P. Here this is origin. Okay, now we want this distance. I will draw some different color for you. Maybe you will confuse about this thing. Okay, so we need this distance, this red distance we need. Okay, this is 0 comma 0. If I say this OQ distance, I will say this O is some point, origin point. So this OQ is 10 centimeter. If I will take a simple value for this, and this OP is 4 centimeter. Now this OQ is 10 centimeter. Okay, and this OP is 4 centimeter. So what is the value of this PQ? This means that this PQ will be OQ minus OP. Are you getting me? This will be equal to 10 minus 4, that is 6 centimeter. Now you got the idea why we are using x2 minus x1 or y2 minus y1. Okay, so you got the idea. You will remember this thing. We'll take a simple example from your NCRT also. So the P is the point 1 comma minus 3 and Q is a point 5 comma 7. Okay, so you will directly put the formula x2 minus x1 ka whole square plus y2 minus y2 minus y1 whole square. So you will see what is here x2. X2 is 5. What is x1? X1 is 1. Okay, what's y2? Y2 is here 7 minus y1 is here minus 3. You have to use this thing minus 3. Now this minus and minus will be plus, so you will get the value distance will be equal to under root 116, or you can say this twice root under 29. Okay, so this is the distance. We will see distance from origin. This is a different case. If there is a point x comma y, okay, so what you will see by the distance formula, if you put distance formula, here are only one point, but if I can say this is also a different point 0 comma 0, we know that. So now we will see the distance between these points. Directly apply the formula. Okay, so this formula will be here. What is x2? X2 is here x minus x1 is 0 whole square plus y2 is here y minus y1 is 0. Okay, so that is here x square plus y square. Directly you got the value. Okay, applications of distance formula, if you will use this thing in questions also, this side in the parallelogram, what's actually parallelogram? Always opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides are equal. You can say this is in the right angle, this is in the rectangle also, but in the rectangle all angles are 90. Here opposite angles are equal and not 90. Okay, so this is the case of parallelogram. This is the shape of parallelogram. And rhombus, all four sides are equal, but square is also four sides equal, but here opposite angles are also equal, but in the square the angles are 90. Okay, so this is rectangle, you know that, and this is square, you also know that. These are very basic things. Now we will see. ये देखना चाहते हो कि क्या ये पॉइंट्स कोलिनियर है, यानी कि एक ही लाइन पे है। ओके, सो जो भी पॉइंट्स होगा, ये P होगा, ये Q होगा और ये R होगा। आप एजम्पशन लोगे कि ये डिस्टेंस जो है PQ QR ये बराबर है PR के। अगर ऐसा कोई आपने एजम्पशन लेके ये चीज़ सही करार दी, so that means these points are collinear. Okay, section formula is actually, if you will divide a line in two parts but not equal, maybe sometimes equal also, so this is the ratio in which you will divide. This is M1 M2. Okay, now there are 3 points. This point is x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2, and this point is xy. Okay, so this is the point on a line you draw, so that divide this line in two segments, sorry, in two lengths m1 and m2. You will use directly the section formula to calculate the m1 sometimes, m2 sometimes, or this point x1 y1 sometimes, or xy, whatever the question will ask you. Okay, you will get value of x here, m1 x2 m2 x1 m2 plus m1. So simple, if you will draw a line here. Okay, so this is x1 y1, this is x2 y2, and this point is xy. Okay, okay, if you will calculate the x here this x you want to calculate, this is m1 and m2. ओके, सो इफ यू वांट टू कैलकुलेट दिस एक्स, आप क्या काम करोगे, आप इस फॉर्मूला को यूज करोगे। यहाँ पे एक चीज कॉमन है दोनों में, m1 प्लस m2 आप लिखो या फिर m2 प्लस m1 लिखो। यहाँ पे है, अगर आप m1 लेते हो तो आपको मल्टीप्लाई करना है x2 के साथ, अगर आप m2 लेते हो प्लस करके तो आपको x1 के साथ मल्टीप्लाई करना है। सेम इन द केस ऑफ y ऑर्डिनेट कैलकुलेट करना चाहते हो, फिर से वही बात कि यहाँ पे वही चीज़ है, रिपीट हो रही है कि आपको y कैलकुलेट करना है, सो वो आपको लिखना है m1 y2 के साथ प्लस m2 y1 के साथ, और सेम जो डिनोमिनेटर में चीज़ है वो सेम ही है, m2 प्लस m1, दिस विल बी इक्वल टू y, एंड इफ यू वांट टू से x, दिस इज m1 x2 प्लस m2 x1, sorry, m1 plus m2. Midpoint is actually, if you will draw a line, exactly the point which will divide these lines into two equal lengths. Okay, so this is P, this is Q, and this R, such that this PR must be equal to RQ. Okay, simple. Now what's the formula for this? If this is x1 y1, this is x2 y2. Okay, so this is x comma y. So how you will get the value of x comma y? Simple, you will use this x1 plus x2 divided by 2 is x, and y will be equal to y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So how you can use these things, if you want to draw a, okay, you want to draw a, you want to get length of this thing. Okay, you want to get length of this thing. Okay, now you know these points, you can directly get the value of this thing. How? Using the midpoint formula. Okay, so point, if you will use this formula in this question and to calculate the midpoint, again you will use x2 or x1, whatever it is, 5 plus 1 by 2, 5 plus 1 by 2, and y is 7 plus minus 3 by 2. Why this is minus? Because this is by default minus here, and you will use the formula and you will calculate 3 comma 2 is the point. Okay, so area of triangle, if there are 3 points such that they are forming a triangle just like here. Okay, so what is the formula? You will get directly the area of triangle. You know the area of triangle is 1 by 2 base into height, but in the coordinate system you cannot calculate that. You have base length and the altitude length, but here you can use directly the formula, and the formula is 1 by 2 x1 y3 minus y2 plus x2 y1 minus y3 plus x3 y2 minus y1. This is a long formula. This was the formula of area of triangle. directly you can get the value of area of triangle by this formula. You have to remember this thing. If you will see 4 5 times, and you will get the value. So this was the revision of coordinate geometry. My motive in this video is to share just the fast revision, okay? Not to show the NCRT problems, because you have to solve NCRT problems by yourself. Recap, okay? Recap type of thing, these videos. और ऐसे videos मैं upload कर रहा हूँ. अगर आप कुछ और चाहते हो, you can comment. एग्जाम्स आर वेरी नियर, आपको इस टाइप के वीडियोस भी 2x स्पीड पे देखने चाहिए. मिलते हैं अगली वीडियो में एक नए चैप्टर के साथ. तब तक के लिए टेक केयर ऑफ योर सेल्फ.